What I eat on Mounjaro, down 90 pounds. I'm going to be sharing with you my go-to breakfast, lunch, dinner and snack ideas, as well as at the very end I'm going to be sharing with you my sneaky favourite that I love it so much. So make sure to like, subscribe, stay linked in with me and do comment below if you've got any ideas yourself. Here we go, munchers. Hello Mounjaro munchers. To anyone that doesn't know me, my name's Lauren. I've been on Mounjaro now for 17 weeks. And in that 17 weeks, I have managed to lose, I think around 37 pounds now. Over 2.5 stone on the Mounjaro, all staying on 2.5 milligrams. And previous to that, I did lose 4.5 stone myself. So at the moment, I am down just over 90 pounds altogether in the last year on this fabulous wellness journey. And today I'm going to share with you all my meal ideas. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, snackaroonies, and my favourite one at the end, so stay tuned for that one. I'll also be adding in some pictures of the things that I'm having, as well as giving you some updates on the calories that they may contain as well, just for your overall knowledge. But let me preface everything by telling you, Mum ain't no medical professional. I'm not a medical professional at all. Some of these amounts that I'm saying may well change because sometimes they decide they want to change them every now and again. I remember back in the day when a banana was about 30 calories. Well, that's changed, hasn't it? Liar, liar, pants on, toasty fur. So yes, I'll just give you a guide of what the calories are according to the packaging that I have and according to MyFitnessPal that I often use to get that information. So do always check your calories yourself, along with any other nutritional information. But let's go. Let's have a little look, shall we? So let's start with some of my key breakfast ideas. Now, some people might have the ability during their breakfast times to be at home to make some kind of breakfast. Some of you might be on the go. So I'll do a couple of options, but these are the kind of things that I have for my brekkies. First of all, just let me cover what the kind of things I want to make sure that I'm getting in each day. So I always want to be getting in some element of protein and hitting a protein goal. So if you have a little look online, you put in your weight, you put your information in, and you can actually work in how many grams of proteins roughly you need to be getting in per day. So have a little look at that first and you'll know kind of what you're working to as well. Same with fibre. Protein is brilliant for us. Really good to help produce that keratin for the hair, helps keep us nutritionally fulfilled, good to keep us fuller for longer, great for our muscle health. But protein alone will also cause that constipation, you know, the strainison. So to counteract that, we must be getting that fibre in. Mix it all up. What do you got? A free-flowing stream, fingers crossed. So make sure you get the fibre in. And again, you can have a little look and work out your kind of fibre goals as well. Your kind of fibre goals, great English, Lauren, but we're going to go with it. So protein, fibre, and we also want to keep balanced, don't we? So get some of those carbs in. So a nice balanced diet will keep us feeling fresh. So, like I say, with all that info thought of, protein, fibre, bit of carbies, these are the kind of things I have. So breakfast, here we go. That was me buckling up. For me, to make sure that I don't get the old constipation, I often make sure I want to get my fibre in my breakfast because I want to be moving, if you know what I mean. I want the traffic to be moving. We don't want red lights. We want green lights. Go, 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 go. Not too much go. So I will often have Weedabix in the morning. And when I just have one Weedabix, I would call it my Weedabix in the morning. So a Weedabix in the morning. So some kind of element of that. You know, some people have bran flakes. Some people have had little bran strands once before. But Weedabix for me has been the thing that gets me moving each day. So yeah, I like to start off with a Weedabix and I do mix up what I have it with. So quite often, hang on, let me get this actually. It doesn't have to be the branded Weedabix. What have I got here? Moggy's wheat biscuits. Now, Weedabix, wheat biscuits, whatever your shop does, they might have a version of these. So I love to have these in the morning. So I usually have two of these. Two of these contains 136 calories, and I decide then what I want to mix it with. So I'll either mix this with something like 100 grams of the Total Fark yogurt, and that contains 54 calories for 100 grams. So get it on your little scales, weigh out 100 grams or a bit more if you want to have a bit more with that. And that's really good to mush up. Again, I'll put a little image in somewhere probably, and then I'll put some little frozen berries in with that. Mix that all up and put a little bit of honey in that. So all in all, that breakfast usually for me contains approximately 200 to 230 calories. A nice way to start off that day. You're getting that fibre in with the Weedabix. You get the protein in with the yogurt. You get some nice berries in there as well. A little bit of honey in there to keep that nice and sweet for you if you want it in there. But to be fair, actually, sometimes those berries give it the sweetness anyway. So you may well not even want to add the honey in anyway. So that for me is a nice breakfast. Quite often I will change up what I might be having with my Weedabix. Sometimes I'll just have it with a little bit of milk and some banana cut up in there as well. That's what I did this morning. Insert image somewhere. And obviously for a banana, as I was saying earlier, is around, a medium banana can be about 100 and 105 calories, something like that. And obviously swapping out the yogurt for the milk sometimes is what I do, and that's what I did this morning. Depending on how you're feeling during that day. And that breakfast usually keeps me nice and full, keeps me going till at least lunchtime, keeps my mind working. You can also sprinkle in a couple of nuts on there as well. I don't go crazy with the nuts in the morning because they have got a high fat content and calorie content because of that, but I'm fine with that because those are kind of the healthy fats that are great for our body anyway. So get some nuts in there if you want. Also things like chia seeds, pumpkin seeds, anything like that as well to get some more of that fibre in, a bit of roughage. All great for you, all great. And all great for our brain health as well. It helps curb those cravings as well. Having something like that savoury, those nuts in that morning is great to curb those cravings in the morning because it starts our glucose levels off nice and low. So that's breakfast idea number one and my regular go-to. I'll say that's the often one. That's the often one. Another thing I'll go to, Aldi is somewhere that I often get my little things from. Aldi does do a big range of protein stuff. Now I do make sure I'm careful with anything labelled protein because as long as something has got a little bit of protein in, they can slap a protein label on. So do double check the ingredients because sometimes the sugar content may well still be high. So just check what you're getting in there. But sometimes I'll have, as a little bit more of a treat, I'll have the Aldi protein pancakes. And again, I'll use that total farg yogurt, some berries on there. And again, perhaps a little bit of honey, maybe a little bit of nuts on there as well, just as a bit of a variety. So you feel like you're being a bit cheaty, feel like you're being a bit dirty, but you're not. You're still getting that protein in. Makes me feel good, makes me feel healthy, makes me feel ready for the day. Another little breakfast idea I might have, if I'm at home and I'm feeling a little bit, go on, I might make myself some poached eggs and a protein bagel. Now, it doesn't have to be just poached eggs. Eggs in general, brilliant source of our protein. Great way to start the mind in the morning, get that protein in. So you could have scrambled eggs, you could have poached eggs, boiled eggs. Any more eggs? Any more for any more? But sometimes I'll have 2 eggs on the old bagel there, but on one bagel. See what I'm saying? Now I've got a protein bagel. Hang on, let me show you. Huzzah! Again, sorry if this is in reverse to you at all, but these are the Aldi protein bagels that I use. What we got? Now they get their amounts confusing on here. It's been a big thing all over TikTok or somewhere. But actually in this is 154 calories in one of these bagels. Again, double check your info out because they do like to change it every now and again. Again, we've got a low sugar amount in there. We're green on the sugars. And it's just something that I really enjoy. I really enjoy having these. So I have one of these little bagels. I often get them toasted. Put a little poached egg on each or a little bit of scrambled egg on them. Then you're off. A lovely little breakfast, nice and full. A whole variety of food out here. It looks like an episode of Supermarket Sweep. Also to things like your eggs, you could have something like, when I was especially first starting, I would just have scrambled eggs with some avocado on there. Again, a nice healthy fat, a good way to get those calories in if you're not able to get them in as much. You get the protein in. Avocado, what's that? There's a fibre in it? Who knows? But again, I was feeling fuller for longer. I was getting the calories in and feeling good. You could add, if you're feeling really sneaky, why not add a bit of salmon on that? Oh, go on. Oh, she's feeling posh today. A little bit like an eggs royale when you're out. That does bring me to a little bit of content about when you are out and about, when you have things. I'm only going to cover this a tiny bit just because I had a thought process there, but I often go for an eggs benedict or an eggs royale when I'm out, but I always ask for the little hollandaise sauce in a cup at the side so that I can just go dip and have a tiny bit on it rather than smothering the whole thing on that sauce, which I'm not really sure what's in it. You know, so that's another little tip. It's a random one because I just thought about it in my mind tunnel, not really structured. Classic Lauren. I often ask for sauces in the side so I can just dip and I've got a bit more control. That's just a random side note. That's freebie. So that's 3 of my quick go-to breakfasts. Weedabix with all the trimmings that I've described. Some protein pancakes perhaps, again, with the trimmings that I've just described. Yes. And a variety of eggs with different bits and bobs. If you're liking it so far, make sure you subscribe wherever the subscribe thing is. Don't forget, my favourite meal is still coming up, so stay with me. Let's move on to some Lunchables. Again, some people might be working from home so they can cook a lunch at home. You might be on the go, so let's do a little mix of both. Eggs is always a go-to for me. So I love to make an omelette. Really, really quick to make an omelette, and I like to make it juicy. I like to make it a bit dirty as well. So let me talk you through this. This is my omelette. I get 3 eggs. Chop my onion, a little red onion, just a little bit, not too much. Get that in the pan, get it frying up. I might chop some mushrooms, get them in the pan. I might get some spinach in the pan. I might get some peppers. That's me getting the seeds out. Get it in the pan. Whilst they're simmering, I might just get my little mix again. Do you know what I love to add to most things in life? Paprika, 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 yeah, yeah. I do enjoy adding paprika. So I'll get a bit of paprika in there. Bit of salt, bit of pepper, bit of garlic granules if I'm feeling feisty. Mixer, 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 mixer. Then I'll pour over my mix in the pan. So the little onions are in there, they're ready. Actually, I think I put the spinach in after, but... So then that's simmering. Then I get maybe a little bit of ham, bit more protein. Cut that little ham into slices, sprinkly, sprinkly. I might even get a little bit of cheese, not too much. Get a little grate of cheese. Great. It's usually enough. Sprinkly, sprinkly. Then I let her simmer. I don't do a flip, just let her simmer. I'll watch her for a bit. I might get a little spatula around the side. Check she's lifting. Oh, she's burning. Get the spatula under bit, and then I go flippity-doo-dah. So I flip it over, and then bits of the egg that's not cooked will come out again. Then I might cut that in half to make it more easy for the full flip again. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Got yourself a good omelette there. Then you might want to get a little side salad with that. Might even want a crouton. Stop it. Don't look at me like that. But that is a gorgeous little dinner. That's also a tea time thing. If you want a tea time, you're not feeling overly hungry, 3 eggs in that, 70 calories an egg-ish. With any of your trimmings, like your ham, your mushrooms, a bit of cheese, bit of salad, that soon adds up. Also remember, if you're using some oil in that pan, I always go for extra virgin olive oil. I don't use vegetable oil, don't tend to use fry light. Don't tend to use any of that stuff. So yeah, that's one meal idea in general, dinner or a tea, 2 for 1. Do you know what I had the other day? A Morrison's frittata. That just went in the oven. Put a little picture of the frittata on there. I had a little quarter of that frittata and that was enough for me. Put a little bit of salad with it. That was gorgeous. So you may well find in the shops maybe a little quiche, or frittata tends to be better because it tends to be lower in the fats, because sometimes quiche can be made with cream and things like that. I had my mum's homemade one last night. I knew about that the next day, but it was worth it. So have a little look. There might be some healthy frittatas. I think this one was like a peppery one as well, peppery, cheesy one. Had that with a nice side salad. Was gorgeous for a lunch. Really easy to take to work as well. So I'd cook it the next day, pop it in a little Tupperware with my little salad. Off I go. One of my favourites. And I was almost going to make this my favourite one. It's not. Is this. Remember my protein bagels from earlier? I get my protein bagel, I put it in the toaster. While that's happening, I make myself up some tuna mix. Can of tuna in spring water, high in protein, thank you. 55 calories for half a can. I have the whole can, 110. Quick math. 110 calories. Get that in a bowl. Get a little bit of vinegar, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, a little bit of low-fat mayo in there. A little bit of paprika, 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 yeah, yeah. I love it, I can't help it. Mix that all up. Once my toaster's popped goes a weasel. Get that out. Don't even bother with butter on there. I get my little mix, squish it on, squish it down. Then I get myself a cucumber, put some cucumber on top of there. That's delicious. It's delicious. That was going to be my number 1 favourite, but it's not. So stay with me because I'll tell you my number 1 favourite. It's similar, but it's not that. It's similar. I adore that for my lunch. It's gorgeous, it's filling, you've got protein, you've got some carbies. Don't really know if the fiber's in there, but you can add some salad with that as well if you want. Get some more fiber in, but I love it. I love it as a dinner, I love it as a brunchy. You can toast that bagel, you can not toast it if you're going out and about for a picnic. Have it how you like, gorgeous. Salads in general, you can make these fun. Now you can have a chicken salad, ham, tuna, egg, lentil, chickpea. There's loads and loads more, but salads that you can have, but make your salad sexy. I was a salad. I'd want to be a sexy one. And you can tell that because she's got a bit of bra showing. Sorry. It's too early. It's too early. But yeah, don't just settle with the boring bits. A lot of shops do those nice kind of mixed salads anyway. I know sometimes they're not great in terms of cost effectiveness, but if not, get yourself a little iceberg, a little tin of sweet corn, a little red onion, a little bit of tomato, a little bit of cucumber, maybe spring onion, maybe a bit beetroot, pickled onion, a little dill. Make that salad a bit fun. And then you can add any of your proteins with it. So again, I'm always thinking, what protein am I going to get in this meal? So that's an idea. And again, really handy to take into work, whack it in the fridge, you're good to go. Another thing, because a lot of time people find it quite easy to take sandwiches, but like I say, the protein bagels or Warburton's thins are also quite handy, so you can have any of your salad or your sandwich filling in that, like a egg and cress, any sandwich filling in a Warburton's thins, because again, it's not loading you down with that carbs, but it's still something you can hold it. I'm not going to do that action too much, but another great one for on the move. I'm going to tell you my favourite one a little bit later. Tea time, dinner time. What do you call it? Do you call it tea time? Do you call it dinner time? Your evening meal, essentially. Let's move on to those ideas. So here what I'm thinking about, like I think about in all meals, what protein am I having? What fibre am I having? This is the meal where I always try and get that balance right. So I try and have maybe half of my plate protein, a big old chunk of the rest of it as my fibre, and then some carbs at the end there. Just to keep me balanced. Keep me balanced. Like I'm on a tightrope. So if I've got some chicken in the fridge, I'll be thinking, chicken, what do I want with that? Stir fry perhaps. Just a quick stir fry bag that you whack in your pan, season your chicken, you get all that in. Lots of protein, lots of fibre in that. A little bit of carbs if you want some noodles with it. Or you don't have to have noodles with it. Depending on how your day's been, can dictate what kind of chicken stir fry you're going to have. A little chicken curry. Now, if you want to be a little cheater, just like me, you can get yourself just a little jar of it. Again, check the back for things like your sugars in there. It'd be exactly the same case as just frying your chicken off, getting that curry sauce in. And again, if you wanted to have some rice or some lentils with that, or you just wanted to have the curry by itself, maybe with some veg, done. That's something that I've gone to quite a lot. Rather than having things like the pasta or rice as an accompaniment with dishes that I would usually have that as an accompaniment with, I now often decide to have just some vegetables with it. I'll show you an example of that in a sec. Sorry, I keep looking down because I'm looking at my list of foods because I've got this structured for y'all. Take this seriously. Another thing I sometimes do with chicken is just really, really simple seasoning. So I just whack that chicken straight in my fryer or an air fryer actually. Sometimes I pre-marinade. Just get a little bit of salt, pepper. Do you know what else I put in there? Don't make me say it. Don't make me say it. Paprika, yeah. A little bit of that. Put it in too much, don't I? Garlic granules, any other fun spices, mixed herbs, Italian season, barbecue seasoning. Whack it all in, make it all fun, cook that off, and then just having that with some salad or some nice new potatoes. I go easy on my potatoes as well. I don't have too much starch. Gorgeous. Love it. Another protein I like to have, bit of salmon, bit of salmon. And again, sometimes I have that with a stir fry, or I might just cook that off. And salmon is so easy to cook off. I pop it in some foil, I pop in some salt, some pepper, no paprika. Before you're funny at the back there. A little bit of dill on that. Wrap that up in a little foil pouch. Pop it in the oven 20 minutes. Out she goes, looking gorgeous. Sometimes I actually put a little bit of soy sauce in that as well before it goes in, or a little bit afterwards. If I've gone down the soy sauce route, I might just have that with some lentils, protein lentils, which I love. Aldi used to do some great French style protein lentils, but I've not seen them on the shelves for a while, so worried if they're discontinued. But if not, other shops do the French style protein lentils, which I do love. With some tender stem broccoli. That for me is a gorgeous balanced dish. Have you got some mince? I've got some mince. I always go for the 5% fat mince, and I'll do a few things with my mince. I love making my little mince burgers up. Because I know what's in it, I'm the one making it. They're so simple and straightforward. I just whack my mince in a bowl, get an egg in the bowl, get some salt, some pepper, paprika. I do it. Yeah, it's in there. Get a little garlic, crush that up, put that in. Maybe add a few more garlic granules to that. I give it a good mix. I get my hands in there. I take the ring off, get my hands in there. Make it mixy, mix it all up. Oh, it feels good, does it? Then I split that up with my hand. I just split it so I can get some even burgers. Just rolly in your hand, squishy McSquisherson, and you've got yourself a little burger. Then I wrap those in cling film, put them in the fridge so they firm up for at least half an hour, and then they're ready for your air fryer or your oven, whatever you want to cook it in. And then I just have that with some salad. So I don't even worry about buns, anything like that. Have that with some salad or some protein lentils or some sweet potato fries, anything like that you might want to have where you're feeling a little festive, but you don't want to go all out. Also really good for this summer season where you might want to be going to barbecues and things like that, but might want to have a bit of control about what you're having. You could always be like, these are my burgers, Sandra. Another thing I do with mince is make a fabulous spaghetti bolognese. But again, this is one that you can just make in a slow cooker or make it there and then on the old hob if you want. So with the old spag bowl, again, I fry off my onions and my garlic. I whack my mince in there. I then add my cans of chopped tomato in that, bit of tomato puree, salt, pepper. I don't think I do paprika in that. Don't think I do. Mix that all up so she's feeling fun. Put a little stock in there as well. Not mixing it with water, just the stock itself. Little beef stock. I would have also added some mushrooms, perhaps some celery and some carrots in there beforehand as well. Got those all cooked down before I added that mince on top. And then just let that simmer down. And again, I'll have that maybe with some broccoli, although my other half doesn't have the broccoli. It gives him wind, as we found out last week. So again, that's the example that I want to share with you of where I replace the pasta with a veg sauce instead to get more fibre in. And I love that one. I love myself a little spag bowl. Sausages! I do have sausages. Yes, they're the fatty meat, but probably why I feel akin to them. What I love about being on Mounjaro is that I've been able to not have to look for the low-fat stuff all the time. I used to reach out for these things called skinny sausages. They tasted not good. They definitely weren't enjoyable, but now I go for the caramelised onion sausage because I have those calories to spend it on. So I might, again, cook myself a little casserole. Really similar, actually, to the minced bolognese dish, weirdly. I whack onion, garlic, celery, carrots, peppers. This is one where I put paprika, yaya in. I would have cooked my sausages off first. Then I mix them all together when the onions and all that have cooked down. Then I put my cans of tomatoes in. Then I add my paprika, yaya, salt, pepper, garlic. I often carry a bag I often use the same kind of spices in each thing because that's how I know what to do. Any tips down below would be great. Please subscribe. And again, I never add anything with that. We just have the sausage casserole as it is. I don't add any pasta with it or rice with it or anything else. I just have it as it is. And it's got that protein in it, got that fibre in it as well. And it's just gosh darn delish. I hate myself for saying that. So I hope that's helped with some tea time ideas. What about our snacky snackersons? Oh, I love me a snack. Oh, I love me a little snack. So here's something that I have when I just feel like my body needs a little bit more energy, or I'm maybe feeling a little bit picky. So I want some things little and often perhaps. Quite often I'll go with some peppers and a bit of hummus. I often do go for the reduced fat hummus there, either a pepper hummus or a normal hummus with some peppers or some cucumber, some celery, something like that is a really good snack that I often have. I also consider if I need some more calories to have protein shakes as a snack as well. Various protein shakes available. Pick something that you enjoy. Also check the sugars on all protein shakes. I use a protein shake by a company called Will Powders because their products are really, really clean. You do pay a little bit more for them, but I don't mind so much. But there are so many protein shakes out there. But again, great as whether it's a whole meal replacement or something where you're just trying to top those calories up. Sorry, I'm tripping over my words a bit today. Top of the tongue, teeth and the lips. If you want a little fun snack, some popcorn is always my little go-to. Now, the Morrison's popcorn, I think I've shown a little picture somewhere, is 121 calories for 25 grams. Now, I know obviously you've got your sugars in that as well, but if you're fancying something a little bit sweet, for whatever reason, just because why not, then that's a good way to do that. It's always a go-to that I have because again, they are low in calories. So if you've got a few left over and you want to have that treat, go for it. Fruit obviously is a good go-to when you're on the go. Apples, bananas, tangerines. But again, just be aware that they do all carry calories. So quite often people will say to me, Lauren, I just can't eat all my calories. But quite often they're not counting things like your oil, your milk, your butter, your fruits, because you think, oh, what's in that? Count those things up. Because like I said earlier, a banana's got 105, the cheeky little minx. Also, one of my great loves. This is something I'll often have after a meal, like as a little pudding. This gorgeous queen. I love her. Protein pot from Aldi. She's dirty, she's full of protein, and she loves to be smothered on a strawberry. I love her. She's great. Lovely as a chocolatey thing for after your dinner, and also a great way to get protein in. She does come in at 153 calories. But sometimes we need the calories at the end of the day, and that's fine. But I love her. She's my queen. And in fact, I also might just have her as a snack. There's lots of different kind of little mousses available. Lots of different kind of like a who. Grammar is poor today. So there's the Cravac ones. There's the My Protein ones. Have a little look. Have a check. Again, always have a little look at the sugar content. They do have, I think it's a sweetener in them. Isn't ideal, but I like them. So, whoa, life goes on. So, we have come to my favourite meal. How about a couple of drink options? Now, obviously, we stick to our 2 to 3 litres of water a day. If you can't have the water, obviously you can have sugar-free juice. But another little evening drink I like to have. It's an old school one. So I just grabbed her. She's an Ovaltine. I love a little cheeky Ovaltine at night time. I used to have it with my nan, so it's a bit nostalgia as well. Now this one here, you just add water and it says 5 teaspoons or 25 grams in hot water. It's 106 calories. Now I do not have 5 teaspoons. I have 2 max. 2 max in there. So already that's cut it down in half to like 55 calories. I love that in the evening, or it's just a little comforting one. So I have that. I also have, appropriate for all weathers, hot or cold. So these little salted caramel Kenko lattes, or a latte as my mum calls it. Winds me up every time. What have these got? Per serving, 81 calories in these little sachets. Love me a sachet. So yeah, it says you can have them hot or cold. I've been having them hot. Salted caramel ones. Again, a little sweet kick if you're feeling it. Little comfort, hug in a mug. Love it. Let's get on to my favourite meal, shall we? So my favourite meal. I don't have an image of it. I'll probably try and find one. Very similar to, as I said, the tuna bagel. And the tuna bagel was going to be my top one. However, the other day, I came across a different one. And let me tell you what that was. Before I do tell you what that was, I'm going to ask you one thing. If you've enjoyed some of this content today and it's helped you out finding different breakfast, lunch, snack, tea time ideas, and indeed drink options, then give me a little subscribe. I'm going to be putting out a lot more videos with tips and tricks along this journey, and I really want to be invested in your journey too. So please do give us a subscribe, comment below, give me your recipe ideas, especially recipes that might be vegan or vegetarian as well, because that's not really where I've been specialising in. So I'd love to know some of those recipes as well, or ideas that we can all share. Write them down below and we can all have a little share about them. But my favourite meal, it's a little lunch, or it could be a tea time. It isn't tuna on bagel. It's sardines in tomato sauce on bagel. Now, I do this in a certain way. You have to do it a certain way, otherwise I'm out. Let me tell you how I do this. Before you tell me you don't want it, let me show you this. Got myself a grill. Yeah. I put my bagelays face down into the grill. I get my little sardine and tomato sauce can. Ring pull. I mash them up in the can. I get my little face down bagels out. I turn them face up. Hello, darlings. And then I put my sardine on each bagelay, squishing it down, spreading it all out, getting that juice around. I put it back in. Wait for that to go crispy, crispy. Sometimes I peek in the grill. What's going on in there? Take it out. That's my favourite one. That's my favourite one. And I couldn't even tell you the calories in it because it varies on can to can. But I love them. I absolutely adore it. Omega-3, protein in the bagel. Oh, it's just delicious. It's just delicious. Oh, I think I might have to go get one now. I need to get a can of sardines. So that's it. There are some of my go-to meals. I really, really hope it's helped you. And as I was saying before, do give me a subscribe. And please do comment below and let me know where you are in your journey and any further ideas that you may have. As well, just to top this video off, just to say, I'm no medical professional, so again, please do check those calories, please do track the nutritional value, and have some gorgeous time creating some new fun for your journey. Enjoy your meals, munchers. Make sure you get those calories in, get your water in as well, and have a gorgeous day. Love you lots, munchers!